Awesome.
I don't know if it'll make much of a difference, but then at least if some of my followers pop in, I can see their comments.
Hmm. I'm liking those hexagons behind you.
Thank you. I have a couple. I really like my like multi-dimensional shapes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you're super into hexagons.
Hmm.
They remind me of bees, honeycombs, right?
Yeah. So what's going on? I'm Katie, by the way. I'm sure you know that. I think I probably told you that.
I'm on meditation, right? Inspiration. Yeah, I'm looking at my soul destiny. It says I'm a 9-9, which is symbolized by the snake transforming into the dragon. This number brings an invisible protection from karma. Whatever is presented to be by others will be given back to them ninefold. So, good to know. And it says I might be clairaudient and have a strong sense of humor.
What do you feel? Like, okay, I believe all of these things are very important. So human design, mapping, soul mapping, all of that can help lead you to a place of finding your own truth for yourself. But where do you resonate? Where do you resonate on where are you on your journey for yourself right now?
Good question. I feel I'm in the wrong place,
Well, then it's probably because you are.
but I've gotten every sign that says I am in the right place at the
Well,
right time.
okay, technically, you can't really ever be in the wrong place because no matter where you are, it's going to present options to you to lead you towards where you want to be. The discussion you need to have with yourself is are you where you want to be? Not are you in the right place? The right place can only be really what you want it to be, right? And leading up to that is whatever it's going to be, right? Sometimes we have to run certain cycles to come to a fullness of who we are, of who we are.
The cycles again.
Hi, everybody.
That really showed itself to me on an acid trip I did once. The cycles repeating in life. Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of acid. It really throws you into like accelerates where you're going, but sometimes not always in like the nicest way.
Well, I'm glad I only did it once.
I'm a mushroom girl. I love my mushrooms. They have taught me much. I work very well with them. Very, very well.
Is it psilocybin?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're saying I might have bought this soul contract for nothing?
Well, I'm not saying you bought it for nothing. You bought it for some reason, but I will tell you that the more that you seek, you're only finding fragments of your truth. If you have to seek for it, it's there's only going to be bits and pieces within there. Nobody else can tell you who you are. Nobody else can tell you what kind of life you deserve to live or even want to live. And if it's not a life you want to live, it's not the right one. You're never going to be forced by the universe to follow a path or live a path that isn't true to who you are. And you know what's true to you based on how you feel about something. So if you're not excited about it or you're not having a good time, it's a pretty good indication that it's not in alignment with what your soul's purpose is.
But well,
Hi, Sydney.
shouldn't or does the universe force you to live the life that is best for you?
Only until you understand who you are, I suppose. I mean, if it's nudging you in the direction of where you actually truly want to be, then it might be difficult sometimes because you have to first release the things that are not you in order to find out who you are. And if you can't use the contrast, if you can't look at what you don't like and use that as a start point, then you're going to have a lot more trouble. If you can look at what you don't like and be like, okay, I don't like this. This is not in alignment with who I am. This doesn't feel good. This doesn't resonate. This is not my passion. that gives you a really good indication of what is. The more times that you go through something and you're like, yeah, that's not it for me. That's not it for me. That's not it for me. There's another way of doing it though. You don't have to go through all of the things that you don't like. I mean, it can be helpful, but you don't have to torture yourself either. If you just start doing what you like to do every day, you're going to find out very quickly, very, very quickly, who you are and what you want to be doing.
And if it's for you or not for you. Yeah.
Exactly. And you know, it can be such a little thing, right? Like it could be such a little thing that makes you feel good. It could be as simple as like, okay, nothing else is working for me right now. I'm just going to go get a coffee and then I'm going to come back. I'm going to enjoy my coffee. I'm going to go into meditation or whatever. Right? Whatever the smallest closest thing to you is that's going to bring you enjoyment, that's what you should be reaching for.
Yeah.
Because that's a clear indication that you're on the right path. If it doesn't feel good, it's a clear indication that you're not.
So there's that. At least there's that clear of signs. Yeah.
I mean, what do you really think the purpose of being here is?
On this floating space rock?
Is it a floating space rock?
Who knows? You're right.
Exactly.
It's definitive.
What do you think the purpose of your soul being here for this experience is?
To attempt to enjoy.
To experience.
Right.
Just to experience. Just to experience. And when you realize that, you can start experiencing things that you enjoy more than things that you don't. Does that make sense? Yeah.
I love the discussion on contrasting mix. Talk some good stuff about contrast. And then
It's important.
discernment, right? Being able to decide, do you want to be in a foul mood for the whole day? You can be if that's what you really want to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, uh, it's kind of controversial. Like everything here is basically backwards. So you have to learn how to operate in a way that your mind hasn't operated before, which can be extremely confusing because you're going to just on impulse bounce back to this state of fear or worry, right? Is this like built into you from the time you're a child? It's what you've been given. But it only take like honestly in my experience it took me like 6 months to rewire my subconscious to lose my fear. And I'm not saying that nothing ever pops up that I worry about or that I fear, but it's not in the same way. I don't get that like gut wrenching, like, oh my God, how am I going to pay my bills? What am I going to do about myself? It's not that anymore. If something pops up a little slight bit of worry, it's kind of just like, that's not my concern, you know? I can kind of see what it's trying to show me and then be like, go rest. You're not mine anymore. Could take a little breaky poo. But it is. It's I spent 30 years and to the depth that you can feel the contrast is the depth that you're going to feel all of the good things that you want in life. So even if it kind of seems right now like things are not really going your way, they're going to. They're going to. And things are accelerating at such a rate right now that it's hard to conceptualize. It's hard to conceptualize how quickly things are going. I don't know. I've been on my spiritual journey for a while. And just the past, I'd say, especially the past month, everything is clicking, just like boom, 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 boom. It's all lining up exactly the way it needs to.
Great. Yeah, I've heard that Rumi quote, what you seek is seeking you.
Yes, of course. And not only is it seeking you, but the things that you don't want, they don't seek you. They don't want you anymore. The things that feel like bothersome to you, they're also like, ugh, why are you still holding on to me? Like, let me go. They belong somewhere else, serving another purpose, not with you. Not with you.
It was 2014 and I was doing my first yoga, breaking into yoga, Kundalini yoga, to be precise. And I had a great teacher. Her name was Fradel. And during the yoga, it was such deep breath work. I took in this breath and I felt as though I never needed to let it out. Like it was infinite within me. And just stumbling upon that was crazy and powerful and interesting. Do you want to talk about that? What I experienced?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead. Tell me.
I don't know. Like it was incredible, powerful.
So, how often do you meditate?
Not enough.
I recommend that you do. I recommend that you do every day.
Hmm.
If I could recommend to anybody anything, it's go lay down even for 15 minutes a day. Because what's going to happen is you're going to start to develop a mind for meditation. Remember that your mind is a magnet for all thoughts, right? So whatever thoughts are presenting themselves to you right now, remember they're not yours. You're just a magnet for those thoughts because you're in alignment with those things.
My
So if you
friend was
go,
my friend was saying was telling me to say I am not my thoughts.
you are not. You're not your
Yeah.
thoughts. So the best way to your least resistant mode, if you're having negative thoughts, your least resistant mode is to meditate. Because even if at first it seems hard to meditate, you're like, oh, these thoughts are popping up, these things are coming to me, it's not going to work, I can't release my mind, blah 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 blah. You're going to reach a point where you will. And I can only tell you this because of my own personal experience of like spending weeks, if not months, trying to get into a meditative state and not being able to access it because my thoughts were so loud. All you have to do is allow them to pass through you. You don't need to focus on what the thoughts are, and you don't need to try to get rid of them. Because remember, okay, I had this mind-blowing thing happen to me the other day where I'm washing the dishes and a voice comes to me and is like, you cannot think away thoughts. You can't think yourself out of thought. So like if the bad thoughts are coming in and you're like, no, I don't want to think that, like you're just encouraging it to stay. It's not going to ever leave you until you can learn how to go into a state to allow it to flow and pass. The thoughts will come and they will leave. And you will reach a state of meditation so quickly within days or weeks. And you're going to truly start understanding who you are. So the reason that you're questioning, the reason that you're looking for answers is because you have that calling inside of you. Because it resonates on some level with you, even if you don't fully know how to decipher what it is. It's resonating with you on some level. And Abraham Hicks uses the example of like a cork floating on water, right? So when you're in a meditative state, you're basically a cork floating on water. When you're awake and you're in your thoughts, you're holding that cork underneath the water and you're like trying to control what happens, right? I also found a lot of answers, a lot of peace in the Book of Thomas. Now, I'm not religious at all. I'm not religious in any way. If anything, I was anybody that's in here that knew me prior and was ever tapped into any of my lives knows that I was very resistant to the idea of a god or organized religion, right? The Book of Thomas, it was left out of the biblical canon for a reason because it doesn't fit the narrative that Christianity keeps to hold people within a box or a construct, right? And one of the first lines of the Book of Thomas is, he who seeks will find. When he finds, he will become troubled.
Oh.
Once he's troubled, he will become astonished, and then he will rule over the all. So, you feel this little spark inside of you that tells you things are not right, something is off. I believe these things being told, but I don't understand exactly what they mean. That's why you look for human design. That's why you look to other people. That's why you look to text. That's why you look to people that you resonate with. A certain part of your being resonates with them because it knows.
The
It
answer,
knows.
the answers are within me.
Yes.
Are
The answers are all within you. And the synchronicity is seeing that answer in your external world, so that you're inside of you, you know that something is the truth, right? And then your outside world projects that by aligning you with somebody like me who can maybe break it down in a way that you will hear, or your friend that did your human design, or whatever she did for you, your soul design,
Okay.
right? it will put it will put your outside reflection of the world in somewhat alignment with you to capture your attention. So you're going to continue seeking. You're going to keep looking to your external world for answers until one day it truly clicks that all your external world is a reflection of your innermost knowing. And just parts of your innermost knowing are resonating with that and projecting it outwardly to you.
So to know thyself better, deeper, is to meditate.
Ah, my phone rang.
Oh, should I repeat what I said?
Yeah, to know yourself is what?
To know yourself deeper and fuller is to meditate.
No, but meditation helps. Meditation will help you find that path of least resistance. Meditation will help you find that path of least resistance, because remember, you cannot control it. It's not something that you're going to be able to control. So the more you grab onto the way that you want it to look, the more you grab onto the outcome you want to see, the more you grab onto the outside world looking for answers, the less you're going to find. You might get little tiny tidbits, but all of those little tidbits that you find are going to tell you to go back into the internal.
Yet we create our own reality, don't we?
You always are creating your own reality. Yeah,
So
always.
doesn't that conflict a little bit?
How so?
Uh,
So your seeking and your questioning puts people like me in your path to make you reflect on the fact that you have the answers internally. Like, I'm just a mirror. I'm nothing more than a mirror right now, telling you what your inside already knows. I am transferring a message from your highest being, telling you you have these answers inside of you. And it's okay for right now. It's okay to look to the outside world, because you're going to have these clues. And once these clues start to resonate, it's going to make a little bit more sense. But the reason that you're in a troubled state right now, and you feel very unsure, and you feel unsettled, kind of, and like that you don't quite have it yet, is because you're still looking externally. Full alignment with yourself is going to feel like excitement. It's going to feel like joy. It's going to feel like, oh my God. It's not going to feel like, well, okay, I guess I'll have to do that. And like I said in the book of Thomas, he says that you're going to seek. It's all pathways lead to heaven. Everybody's going to find it. You're going to find it. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. All pathways lead to heaven. Book of Thomas, he says you're going to seek, and you're going to seek until you find. And once you find, you're going to become troubled. Because if you take a look at the whole of this world, right? And you realize, even just for your own self, that all of the pain that you've been going through and all of the things that are happening for you are a reflection of your internal, that's troublesome. It's troublesome to realize I keep dating men that cheat on me, for example. I keep dating men that cheat on me because I don't see my own value. That's troublesome. This is very troublesome. But when that finally resonates and it strikes the right chord, it's going to push you into your next state of being. And your next state of being is going to be astonished, because you're going to be like, okay, wait a minute. If I was able to attract those men by continually thinking I was going to attract cheaters because I didn't value myself, maybe if I start to value myself a little bit more, I'll attract something better. So then all of a sudden you start building this self-value, just even if it's very, very incrementally. You start to build this self-value, and you're like, you know what? I'm a really good person, because despite all of the horrible things I've been through, I've stayed above it. I don't want to be horrible. I have no desire to be horrible. That doesn't feel good. So there, right there is tangible proof that I'm on the right track. Then you just keep grabbing for the next little bit of evidence that you have. Go stand and in the mirror and stare into your own eyes for 20 minutes, 5 minutes, as long as you can stand.
I've done it.
Then just check it out. Check out the universe that is inside your eyes. And go over all of the things. If you need to, write yourself emails before you go to bed. Write yourself an email and just be like, hey, just a reminder, if you wake up and you're not in the best mood, you did a really good job today. Here's the things you accomplished. You tidied up the house. You cooked yourself and you fed yourself. And you didn't beat yourself up as bad as yesterday. Just reach for the next best little thing that is in front of you. And as long as you do that, the next day will get better. And I started having this one saying. I would say, this is my favorite place I've ever been. I say it every day, but I don't lie. I don't lie to myself. I wait until I'm actually in the moment because I know that every day it's going to present itself to me. So I tell myself, this is my favorite place that I've ever been. And guess what? The next day, there's something better. There's always something better to say that to. Why? Because I'm finding the best of it. Wherever you point your little flashlight, okay, of perspective, wherever you point it, that's what you're going to be looking at. So if you point your perspective at, I haven't accomplished this in my life, I'm already 35 years old and I haven't done this and that, and the world is an ugly place, and people are nasty, and people are mean, you're only going to be looking at people that are mean and nasty. You're only going to be seeing the ugly in the world. You're only going to be seeing the ugly in yourself, which really there is no ugly in yourself. That is just the environmental conditioning that you picked up from the time that you were little. When you were really little, you picked that up. It's not even yours. Those thoughts aren't yours. That energy was never yours. But it is your responsibility to transmute it into something better. And once you transmute it into something better, then you can start projecting it outwardly into the world that is a reflection of your life. And it's just going to be a bounce back and forth. Like if you hold a mirror up against another mirror and it's just endless reflections. It kind of like that.
Do you have that book, The Alchemist?
I don't.
I want that. Or The Four Agreements?
The Four Agreements was a very, 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 very important book for me. If you go back and you look at not my very first 2 TikToks, I think it was number 3 and 4 that I ever posted, I'm quoting the Four Agreements. I was making posts about the Four Agreements. And back then, I was fighting myself. I was fighting myself to see the beauty in the world because I didn't want to see the bad in the world anymore, but it was all I was seeing. I couldn't see past the ugly, so I had to trick myself. I had to trick myself in ways. And that's why seeking is not the worst thing in the beginning, because when you start seeking, it is helpful. There are definitely teachers out there. There are definitely people out there that are just so important and so incredible. I would not be where I am or who I am right now if I didn't have people like Abraham Hicks or Bashar or Alan Watts. If I didn't have them there to be a mirror of that little piece of myself that was reflecting out into the world that I needed to see, in spite of all of the ugliness that was reflecting the bigger aspect of myself, if I didn't have that little piece to grab onto, I wouldn't be where I am. So you don't need to it doesn't need to happen all at once. It doesn't. Just keep grabbing for the next best thing. That's it. And it's going to rapid fire. It's going to rapid fire. And I've come to realize something about myself just in the past couple weeks. And I accept this. And I no longer look at this as an egotistical thing to say. I accept the position as a catalyst. So I went through 30 years of suffering, a very painful life, abandoned, orphaned, raised in drug addiction as a very young child, abused in every aspect of the way. I went through all of these things so that I could be a light, so that I could be a beautiful mirror and reflection for those who need it, that have it inside of them, right? It's okay to accept that. So now I'm at a place where I accept that I, as well as being an incredible student that will learn from everybody I'm around, can also be a beautiful teacher. And when you start seeing yourself in both positions, it gives you so much more dynamic. One of the most important things to know is that a smart man really doesn't know that much. The smartest man out there really doesn't know that much. A really smart man, a genius, knows that he knows nothing. And so what does he do? He observes. He observes. He listens to what she says. He listens to what he has to say and just observes for a while and doesn't need to have an opinion on what any of it means. And through that, you will grow and grow and grow and grow. I have miles and miles and miles to run. I am 30 years old. I have another 50 years to do this, to learn and to experience. But I'm pleased with myself that I've reached a point where I see enough value in myself to say, okay, all those things that I've learned, I've taken my own spin. I have my own story. I have my own way of expressing that outwardly. And there's going to be people out there that are going to resonate with this. And so it is. And so it is. And I'm sure inside of you, you've experienced a lot of things that would help a lot of people. And so give yourself that credit every single day. If you need to email it to yourself or tell yourself in the mirror or whatever way that you find most impactful, or all of them, convince yourself into it. Convince yourself into it. Your days are only going to get better, my friend. Only going to get better. And the most beautiful thing is that we're doing this on a collective level. So while people have been going through spiritual awakenings for, oh my God, I don't even know, centuries and centuries, more than centuries, thousands of years, right? We are now reaching this place where we're all arising at the same time. So where we see the collective, okay, we have the whole collective of the planet, almost 8 billion people on the planet, are each a different puzzle piece that makes up the image of an entire puzzle. When majority of those puzzle pieces were fearful puzzle pieces, it was a scary picture that was being displayed. So many of those puzzle pieces are no longer afraid, and they're turning into these beautiful little pictures of fish swimming in a sea and a beautiful sky and beautiful flowers and beautiful trees and beautiful people dancing around. And so the collective image is only going to get more beautiful. It's only going to grow exponentially. And evolution is inevitable. Anybody who wants to even argue with this, to be like, oh, you're crazy. Oh, we're never going to be able to do these things. No, look at evolution. We would still be freaking cavemen. So for anybody that doesn't want to believe that we're going to be able to live in a world where it's unconditional love and we're in a new earth where we're operating from our highest place and we're essentially in creator matrix, in God mode, just enjoying one another's company, creating, experiencing, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. It's evolution. It is inevitable.
Maybe it's already happening.
Of course it is. Absolutely it is. And so many are already there. So many are already experiencing it. I'm just stepping into it. And it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And for the last 7 months, I've been stepping right into it. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. But what I'm saying is, those that can argue that, okay, well, the external world on a collective, like, okay, there's still problems in Ukraine and there's still problems here and there. Well, that is still the collective fear that is going to be contributing to that being the image that we all see. But the more people that stand up for themselves, the more it's going to change. Because what you do for you, you do for the rest of the world. You're doing for everything else outside of you.
Have you heard of the Omega Point?
No.
It's a point in humanity where we'll reach this collective consciousness that we are all the same consciousness, experiencing life through different perspectives.
I would say that we're already there. We just haven't really aligned with what we collectively want to see, I suppose. Because we've always already been that. Everything that we agree upon together is what becomes. Do you really believe that the reason that certain people are in power is because everybody's voting them in? And do you really believe that that person that was voted in would rule in any other way than the other person that could have been voted in? No.
I guess not.
No, it wouldn't matter if it was Trump or Biden, or it wouldn't matter. There's going to be discrepancies in everything, and we're going to see what we don't like in everything. We're going to see what we do like in everything based on where we're looking.
Puppets.
Puppets is not even really the right word, really, because we're the ones that are pulling the puppet strings. So, like, I mean, we can blame all we want, but It's kind of like the movie Ants. There could be 6 grasshoppers, right? And the ants are all of those ants are afraid of the 6 grasshoppers. But those
Yeah.
grasshoppers don't have any power when all the ants realize, okay, wait, there's millions of us.
Yeah.
We just don't have to do that. We just don't have to.
False evidence appearing real. Fear.
Mm-hmm. Fear is nothing less than the absence of unconditional love. The same way that cold is only the absence of heat and dark is only the absence of light. It's not real. It doesn't exist. It's the emptiness. It's not even the contrast. It's the space left without. It's just the space left without. Fear is only what's left when you're not full of love. That's it. That's it. And you can love everything outside of you, but that does not matter. It doesn't matter. The more that you sacrifice yourself at other people's expense, the more you're sacrificing at everybody's expense.
Law of vibrational energy is love.
Yeah.
So we can go back to some more personal stuff, if that's all right.
Absolutely.
You spoke of your worthiness. Dating men was what interested you. Finding a partner and what helped you to feel more worthy? Like for me, I did a hypnosis once because I was saying a lot of talks to myself in the mirror, and I did this one hypnosis. It was like feel good, and then I went to the mirror and I said I love you, and I shocked myself. Like, wait, what did I just say? I reprogrammed my mind, and it was really cool. I've been dabbling in hacking my brain since then. So yeah, what helped you feel more worthy?
Have you ever seen the movie Split?
Yeah, with
Okay.
James McAvoy,
So understand, first of all, that you have many different aspects. Sorry, what's your name again?
Sean.
Sean. Okay, Sean, there are many different aspects to Sean. Many different. And it's going to absolutely trip you out when you dive deep into that because I've seen some of my aspects. One of my aspects, I'm a dragon. I'm literally a dragon.
I
You've
definitely
been working very, very closely with that dragon. But
I get the dissociative identity disorder within myself as well. It's
so
disturbing.
remember this, those are all labels to explain things to keep you in a certain state, to keep you within a box. So when we say this person has ADHD or this person has bipolar or this person has multiple personality disorder, that is simply something that has not been worked through. Okay, so multiple personality disorder, let's say, that is because you have had to separate your different aspects because they don't feel integrated, because they don't feel a part of the decision making. So they come up at different times, right? There could still be that 6-year-old version of you that was really hurt by your parents or whatever experience it experienced. And until that 6-year-old version of you is healed, it cannot integrate into who you truly are. It has separated itself as its own aspect. And it will show up in ways that you don't even think or don't even recognize. Most people won't even recognize, right? So, for example, me chasing relationships and not figuring out why they were always unfaithful. When literally I would walk into the relationship and be like, I know they're going to cheat on me. I was attracting it. I was a magnet for it. Why was I a magnet for it? Because somewhere inside me, there was an 8-year-old version of me that was very, very hurt by my parents and felt abandoned. So I had attachment issues and I needed to latch onto the comfort of someone else to feel my completeness. I was living in a state of fear and I was living in a state of emptiness because I did not have unconditional love for myself. But remember, the depth to which you can feel that fear and pain, the depth to which you have, is the depth to which you will feel the opposite end of that. So you are going to be able to feel love and empathy and consideration and kindness in such a stronger way, in such a deeper level,
I
because
I already
you
do.
know what it looks like.
Yeah.
But the only way to really heal that is not from any external source. So I was not able to grab onto anything. I had to release security blankets. I had to be the one. So grown up Katie, grown up version Katie, had to sit there with 6, 7, 8-year old Katie and hug her and be like, look at this. We have a safe home. I gave you a safe home. We have a safe home. We're loved. We have a beautiful life. We've brought beautiful friends and beautiful people into our life that care about us and validate us. It's we don't need to seek externally. You have created something beautiful for yourself, and you're beautiful. And that's why the affirmations of speaking into the mirror, the affirmations of continually emailing yourself and in your mind telling yourself you're beautiful over and over and over again, it's going to make you believe it. And not only is it going to make you believe it, but the outside reflection is going to show that. Like, I can't tell you how much I have even physically changed in the past couple years, from being like way too small and skinny and having poor skin and being very uncomfortable in my body and feeling extremely unattractive and feeling like I wasn't worth this or that or whatever, to coming to a place where it's like I walk around and I glow in a way that it's like, it's not from ego, because the ego is the thing that tries to convince you that you need to do better, or you need to look like this, or you need to put lip injections to be this. That's ego. It's not from ego. It's from a place of unconditional love to say, I love myself and I deserve to see something beautiful in the mirror. And then you project that outwardly. It is insane the way that your outside world and your physical body will reflect the way that you feel internally. But you're going to have to dig deep into those sorest parts of you and uncover them and give them love to integrate it. And I promise you, when you figure this out, and no, sorry, you have figured this out. As you go through this process, okay? That whatever you said, DID, multiple personality disorder, it's going to disappear. It's not going to exist anymore, because all of those aspects, all of those different aspects that serve different purposes, right? There's a 6-year-old or the 8-year-old you that's like, don't talk to that person, don't talk to these people, they're going to hurt you, or don't do this because that's going to hurt you. All of those different aspects that we're trying to protect you are going to come into alignment, and they're going to all serve you in your highest good.
Well said. I was doing a little clairaudience. When everybody loves you, you can be just about as happy as you can be, Mr. Jones and me. I like that song.
It is so true, though. Like, if you honestly think about what you're here to be on this planet for, if you narrow it down to the tiniest fraction of what you truly believe you're here for, do you believe in any way, shape, or form that your soul that knew everything already, that was completely consciously aware and knew everything already, do you think that it came here for you to live a miserable life? Do you think it came here for you to suffer to death?
Well, this could definitely be an interesting conversation, because
There could be.
um, was my soul trying to challenge me for this life?
Of course it was.
Okay.
So you
And
could
then
live.
somebody enlightened me to be like, okay, you're going through all these challenges. That just means you're that much of a badass that you can handle these challenges.
Exactly.
And
But
I'm
what do you think of the point of overcoming the challenges is? Sorry.
well, I certainly now want things to be easier for myself, and I create my own reality. So, um, time to shift to that.
And
Time
how
to,
do you think you go about doing that?
oh, you know,
If you took all aspects of yourself, again, if you took all aspects of yourself, which aspect do you think knows best?
which aspect? Probably the subconscious mind.
Why do you think that? The subconscious mind. Why do you think that?
I don't know. That was an instinctual answer. Um,
So, so to me, when I take a look at the subconscious mind is what it's learned environmentally. So based on family dynamics, based on work experiences, based on real like interacting with the outside world, right? I wasn't necessarily looking for a right answer, but I'll give you what my correct answer is.
okay.
The aspect of myself that knows best is the aspect of myself that put me down here in the first place. So if you look at this world as a game, let's flip it all right now. Let's have lots of fun with this. if you look at this world and this plane of existence as just no more than a game, it's a blip in all of your existence. You are literally just here to have fun. Okay. You not just have fun, but that's the end goal, right?
We
You
are
put on this VR set, you
we are
plug into this avatar.
we are eternal. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You plug into this avatar that you now call Sean. Okay. Your highest self, the one that's holding the video game controller or the one that is wearing the headset, is the one that has the clearest vision of what you should be doing. So, in order to access that highest version, you need to release all form of control. And it's not an easy thing to do because down here we feel like we need to have control to manipulate our outside world, but we don't. When you allow alignment with your highest self, when you align with that aspect of you that is still up there or down there or inside of here or wherever you want to place them, that highest aspect of you that already knows how it all plays out and already knows what the intention of coming was, you're literally just going to be floating downstream, down a river. It's kind of like you're going to have a lot more fun hopping on a floaty and floating down the river with a beer in your hand and just being like, hey, those are cool birds. Hey, that's a nice beach over there. Maybe we'll go over to that beach. We'll see. We'll see what the current allows us to do. And then it's easy. So then you float over to that beach and you have a great time on the beach. You get back on your floaty and you keep floating down the river and experiencing all the beautiful things to see in nature versus trying to swim against the current and you're like fighting the water and you're like, why aren't I moving? I'm swimming so fast. I'm swimming so hard. I'm doing so much. I'm working so hard. Why isn't this working for me? It's not going to get you nowhere because that's not what this place is for.
I understand the metaphors. Uh, so, what about the disappointment from not getting to that beach? It's an
Well,
aware,
probably there's probably an even way better beach just upstream.
right? I
Because remember,
love that too. Yeah, there will be another beach, another
and it
another.
is hard. That is our human instinct. That is our human. That is the aspect of our human, and I still have that all the time. Like me and my girlfriend, we are going on this giant road trip. We're going to go all through the United States. We're going to go all through Canada. We know what's happening. It was something that was shown to us more so than like us just deciding, hey, let's do that. But the excitement that came with it, we're like, okay, yeah, this is going to happen. We know it is. And every day we wake up in the morning, we're like, is it time to go? And we're so excited. And then something comes up and it's like, no, you're not going yet. So we have had to completely release even wanting to go, like all of it. We've had to release all of it. And we're like, you know what? We've had so much fun here in the past couple days and we have learned so freaking much. The amount of synchronicities that we have had has been mind-blowing. And there's a point. Okay, so you see angel numbers, you see different signs and synchronicities in your life.
Always.
There comes a point. So that's just an indication that you're on the right path, right? But there comes a point where it's beyond synchronicity. So it's so synchronistic that you think something, boom, boom, like that. It is presenting itself to you in the real world. In your real world. So we've had a couple mind trips with that lately. Where literally we could be in my house having a discussion about something and then we're like, okay, let's run to the store, let's go get food, or let's do this or that, and then we go out to get food and the exact thing that we were talking about is right there in front of our face. It becomes so synchronistic that you see yourself creating like minute to minute rather than numbers being like, yeah, you're almost there, you're almost there. All of a sudden it's like, nope, you're here, you found
That
it, you're
that
here.
literally just happened to me. I was like, I'm thinking about moving to Los Angeles again. I'm thinking about getting a U-Haul, and I'm thinking about because I live in a mobile home,
Yep.
and you can put them on these big trucks and move them to another mobile home park
Yes.
anywhere. That's what's great about mobile homes. Um, and then I literally saw a U-Haul like in front of my neighbor's house. I was like, oh, okay. And then I watched a movie, and they were tugging around a mobile home, like in this big action scene where the mobile home was like wrecking around everywhere. And I was like, that, and the same day, like, no way. That coincidence is not coincidence. It's not. There's no such thing anymore.
No, there's not.
Yeah.
It's just such a big thing to wrap your mind around. But something that I want to remind you of is the entire thing is so exciting that you don't trust me, you don't want to skip over things. You maybe want to skip over the misery a little bit because you don't want to prolong misery longer than you have to, or you're just running in a circle of misery for nothing. But with that being said, there comes a point where you're like, okay, that's not serving me no more. Let's move on to the next thing. If you just allow everything to just kind of happen for you as it's supposed to, I don't have words for it. I don't have words for it. And I debate with myself every day. Me and my girlfriend talk about this every day. It's so exciting, but the day that that huge thing blows up and it's done, and it's like, okay, now you've really made it. Now you've really done it. You know, $1 million in the bank account, or contracts with artists, or something that like could just be really big, right? Anything that you're really hoping for. The day that happens, you're gonna look back on every other thing that led you up to that point, and you're gonna be like, that was so much fun. I'm not even mad that that hurt, or that that sucked, or that I had to learn that, because it's so much fun. You wouldn't want to play a game just to immediately win. You know what I mean? You play Mario Brothers, you intentionally want to run into difficult bosses. You intentionally want to do these things, but the less you look at it as like, oh my god, my life's over, this boss is going to kill me, and you just say, this is what it is. We're going to fucking beat this one too, and we're going to win. And you just hold that every day you just do your best and you're just going to do better every day. The more that's going to grow, the more levels you're going to beat. And it kicks up like this, like rapid speed. Rapid speed. When you release the fear, to it, yeah, you're still not always going to feel the best about every situation that's thrown in your path right away, but it's going to happen like that. The more you hold on to, where is it? Why isn't it here yet? The longer it's going to take. The more that you release control and you're just like, I'm having a fucking great time waiting for it, not even waiting for it. I'm having a great time doing all these other things in between, and I know it's coming regardless, the quicker it's going to show up.
I'd like to channel a song that I heard on TikTok. I reposted it to my page. It goes, I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me.
Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and guess that you're very musically inclined, and that probably has a lot to do with your passion. I can see that. I can see that because I can see that it lights up your face and your eyes close and you go into this state of passion. Have you ever seen the movie Soul on Disney?
Yeah, that's a great one.
It's a fucking incredible movie. And you know why it works?
You've mentioned
Because
movies like a couple times now, and that's what I do. I review movies on my TikToks.
I noticed that. Yeah, I saw it. Everything around you is tangible evidence that is screaming at you, screaming at you, screaming at you. You're ready for creator mode. You're ready for creator mode. You don't need to live in survival mode anymore, because how is survival mode serving you at this point? You know that you don't need to go hunt for it. You know this, but you're still questioning it. So you're like, just in case Uber Eats doesn't show up, I'm going to go out and I'm going to start shooting the squirrels in the backyard just because I don't want to be hungry. But Uber Eats is already on their way. But Uber Eats doesn't end up coming because you're too busy distracted in the backyard shooting up all the squirrels that you don't even realize that your food is sitting on your front door. It's kind of, I keep giving all of these analogies, but I know that you know exactly what I'm saying, and I
Yeah.
know that you already have the answer. I can see it in you, and I can see it in your response, and I can see it in everything you're doing. You are waiting for tangible evidence. I believe that that's what's happening, is you're waiting for the tangible evidence to present itself. But then that takes out the fun of the in-between. It takes out that step of
The journey.
watching it unfold. And you want to watch it unfold. You really do. You really do. Hi, Jules. Let's be friends. Yeah, this is the most brilliant design that anybody could ever freaking come up with. And I can't be convinced otherwise. This place, the planet Earth, where all other species and races came together to see how they could collaborate, to see what would come of it, to see what they could find and what they could learn, is the most beautiful and exciting and amazing and miraculous thing the universe has ever seen. You can't convince me otherwise unless you can go and prove it. But right now, where we're at and exactly where we are, this is the most exciting, beautiful, brilliant thing we could ever experience. So we better just do our best with it. We might as well. We might as well have the most fun.
And I want to say I'm getting better. So you were talking about the external before, and how I'm getting better at stopping the people pleasing, saying no when I don't really want to go and help my neighbors. Um, they're kind of pieces of shit, to be honest. They're meth heads and drunks and low vibe people I really shouldn't be hanging around. And I'm liking that I'm getting more awareness that my inner peace is more important.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, I had a roommate in 2020 take his own life,
Oh.
and I still look out for his younger brother. He lives right across the street, younger brother, and so but I also don't owe it to him to like give up my life to do everything for him.
No, and you can't. You really can't, because when you put yourself at the expense, you can't be the fullness of what they need anyway.
Yeah,
You
but
can't.
I do care. I care a lot.
And that just is more evidence to you of how beautiful you are.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm
some more evidence.
beautiful in every single way. Words can bring me down.
Music has been one of my most amazing. What was the song that played today? We're driving in the van, and I'm like, you know what? Sometimes I get huge synchronicities through the radio. So you just click the radio on. Do you remember what song it was?
Hold on, we're going home.
Oh yeah, it was basically saying, "Hold on, we're going home," and it was talking about "Girl, You're Something." It was a Drake song. Oh yeah, there we go. My girl's a music girl. She's my music girl. Yeah, but basically it was just like, "Girl, you're amazing, and we're on our way home," and I was like, "Sweet."
Speaking of awareness, do you know where you hold your anger?
I
Because
don't.
I've been really aware it's right here in my jaw, and I just will release my jaw and just hang out like.
Yeah, okay, what you said to me hit me in a really cool way, because I realized, like, when you asked me if I was releasing, I realized that you're right there. You're right there. Like, me and my girlfriend Katara, we just went through massive release. Mine didn't really look the same way. I didn't have physical releasing to do. I think what I've come to find about myself and my soul is that I'm neutrality. So I need to hold, in a sense, neutrality for others. So I release through other people. I don't release through other people, but other people releasing things and me being able to be there and just experience it with them and have these conversations, it releases. I'm releasing, while I'm talking to you right now, I'm releasing more doubt. I'm releasing more worry. I'm releasing more, you know, but I had multiple friends that were literally like coughing up phlegm for days. And when I say coughing up phlegm, I'm talking buckets. Like,
This is
you've
what I was
never
talking to you about when I was talking to you about purging.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It blew my mind when you said that, because I was like, yes, yes. I literally have friends that are pulling energetic things out of their body, and friends that are coughing up mucus, and friends that can't stop puking, and friends that can't stop crying, and you know what I mean? Like, I'm seeing it is massive release everywhere, everywhere. And I didn't have a physical release, but I've been releasing. I've also been releasing very, very heavily over the past couple weeks.
I just want to tell you about my future beach house.
Your future witch, sorry?
My beach house. Forget
Yeah,
the. It's now. It's now. My beach house is incredible, and I have this garden there, this community garden where we grow our own food, and it's beautiful and it's not poisoned, and it enriches us all, and it's a commune, and it's a healing space, and there's crystals and Reiki and spirit guides and tarot and a lot of really cool stuff and singing and meditations. And this place that I've built there, it's fantastic. I can't wait to invite people to come there, have a gathering.
It's going to be incredible. And you're going to do great works, as you already are. Yeah, we kind of had the same thing. We were so when all my gifts started to hit, and my gifts range from through so many different things. My first gift that I was given, actually, the first really noticeable gift recently, because I've always been, I don't even know the clairs. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know the clairs, but I do know that I constantly have. I channel all the time. I channeled to you for about 15 minutes straight, not a little bit ago. I was channeling. I channel, but my grandma came through. My grandma's passed on. And she basically told me that her generation carried the pain and suffering physically so that the future generations could be the healers. So our generation could be the healers so that moving forward, there would not be physical pain, so that we could learn to work with quantum energy and quantum energy healing, which I don't even want to give the name. I don't even want to name the energy, but that we would be given this new energy, brand new energy, so that we could heal from the outside in, right? And I started working with that. And it was mind blowing to me what I could do. I could literally extract people's physical pain. I could literally help people through that energy.
From
And
the
as I would be helping, what's that?
from the outside in, like from the external in,
Yes, like with my hands, using my energy and
Reiki.
manipulating and just seeing it as already done. But the coolest thing was everybody that I worked with gave me a new piece to that. So, for example, I would be doing formerly would be called Reiki, but I don't call it that anymore because it's a new type of energy that we're working with. I would be doing energy work on my son, and as I'm connecting with his DNA, he would tell me different things. Like, for example, his DNA or his high self or something once told me it will not take nearly as long to heal this body, my son's body, because I've already worked on it so much that we have a very good connection, my energy and his, right? I was able to pull out pain that he had for almost 2 years. I was able to pull out in one night. Gone. Done. We were ready to take him to special pediatrics and all this stuff, gone in one day. And teach me things also. Like the one time I was working on him, he had a cut on his finger because he went fishing and he hooked himself. So I was doing work on it to take the discomfort away from him. And his DNA or his high self told me there is no spoon. So it brought me back to the Matrix movie and was like, there is no spoon. There's nothing to heal. It's already done. If you visualize, sorry, my low battery came on. It was like, if you visualize that it's already done, so it is. So visualize the cut already closing itself back up. Visualize the pain already being gone. Visualize there is no spoon. It is all energy, and the strongest energy is what becomes. So I'm learning through each experience and each person, and this is why it's all co-creation. It's all co-creation. You can't be a teacher without also being a student. You never can be, right? So that was my first gift, was healing hands. And it continued to transform to a point where I started putting my hands on people and transferring messages, literally transferring messages to them through my hands.
Have you seen Encanto?
Yeah.
With the magic powers. Yeah.
I love that movie.
Heartbreaking family drama that I also through too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy. And I literally reached a point where I was transferring physical vision, visions. Like my brother was having a hard time and I put my hand on his shoulder like this. and he just saw all of these beautiful visions of things, like visualizing. So your powers are going to grow. So don't close yourself off to a box. Like literally, me and Karen, this is my best friend. This is my twin flame. We've been working very, very closely together. We're complete opposites. I'm Sagittarius and Scorpio rising. She is Scorpio and Sagittarius moon. Like everything about us, I'm fire, she's water. We are complete opposites, which is perfect because we bring harmony and balance.
Um,
Sorry.
I'm Scorpio, Aquarius rising, so that's cool.
So you have okay. Scorpio is a very incredible sign.
Are you okay?
I love Scorpios. I do. I love Scorpios. You guys are very analytical.
Yeah. My birthday's right there. Halloween.
Your birthday's the 31st?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. That's pretty cool. Anyway.
Scared the crap out of my mom. Both a trick and a treat.
Oh my God. So yeah, we originally saw this vision of having a healing center, and we did a couple of sessions with people. We literally did a couple sessions where people were having trauma releases, like literally screaming for 5 hours, doing a full body release. And we didn't even know we had that in us. Don't limit yourself in any way, shape, or form. So we were like, we're going to have this healing center, which we won't call it a healing center, but we plan on having some sort of temple or place for people to come. And we do. But we just keep getting thrown curveballs. So now we're going to be traveling across the states, Canada, and it's ever changing. Just go with the flow of it. Just go with the flow of it. Okay. And everything you want will present itself. It's just going to take a little bit of time sometimes, because sometimes there's more important things for you to hit before that.
Should I?
But be real. If right now you could just win the lottery and have the money and just be done, and then your whole journey is done and you just get to spend it and do what you want with it, would you choose that over what you could be missing out on, which could very likely be changing the lives of hundreds of thousands along the way, or all of the other things you would experience in between? If you knew that you were going to get the same amount of money either way, would you want to miss out on it?
I don't know.
Just to have it now.
No, I'd go through the journey. Sure.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry for being impatient. God.
You don't got to be sorry. And when you talk to God, just remember that you're talking to
my higher.
Not the highest, very highest aspect of yourself. Everything. You're talking to me. You're talking to yourself. You're talking to everybody in this group chat. You're talking to this wall. You're talking to.
Did you see Everything Everywhere All at Once?
I sure did.
That's great. I love that line. Even in a world where we have hot dogs for fingers, we become very good with our feet.
Yeah. That was a great movie. I loved it. Let me think of a really good one for you. Hold on.
Because I'm struggling right now on whether to make another trip to Los Angeles and pursue acting again with like $89 in my account for gas money.
Okay, so instead of do that, why don't you just say, universe, if I'm supposed to be there, show me the way to get there. You will never have to fight yourself, and you will never have to struggle in order to accomplish the things that are meant for you. In other words,
yeah.
Maybe you are supposed to be there, and $2,000 is going to randomly appear for you tomorrow, and it's going to give you the leeway to do that. Maybe there's more things that you need to do where you're at. Maybe you need to start recording yourself more. Maybe there's other things that fit into that are going to bring you there. Nonetheless, if that feels like, if going to Los Angeles feels like what would make you happiest right now, then yeah. Find out the little incremental things in between that make you happy to get there.
Well, I kind of have a new girlfriend. She's making me a little happy these days, and that's nice.
There you go.
She's very recent girlfriend. We we did the thing today for the first time, and it was magical. So
Sounds like a really fucking good day, bud.
did have a good day. Bow, chicka, wow, wow. Anyway,
Okay, as far as your career goes,
yeah.
I mean, maybe she's your freaking pathway. Maybe you guys go to Los Angeles together. Who knows? Incrementally find the next best thing. And we're doing this together, okay? We're doing this together.
You're
I'm
talking.
not exactly where I want to be. If you're not shooting so freaking high that you know you've got a distance to go to get there, you're not shooting high enough. You're not shooting high enough for yourself.
You're mentioning some Bashar stuff, right?
Of course. I quote everybody. Of course.
You're following your next highest excitement.
Yes, that is all Bashar. Man, he's been my number one, not best teacher, but he has resonated the most with where I'm at in my journey recently.
And he also
10 out of 10 recommend listening to
did
him.
this talk where he talked about like the illusion, right? Like when you watch a movie, that it's very realistic to you. You're very immersed in it, and we can do the same thing with our actual reality of immersing ourselves in a new what's going on.
Yeah.
I wish I could communicate better, but I did okay.
It's okay. You're doing a good job. I think you're exactly right, exactly where you need to be, which is where everybody is right now. Exactly right where you need to be.
Everything's always working out.
If you want it to go quicker, release all control. Release all control and just do what feels good. Wake up in the morning and just decide you're going to have the best day ever. And it sounds like you already are on your way there. You got a new girlfriend. Things are going well for you. It's good signs, man.
It was a good day. Yeah.
It was a good day. We'll have an even better one tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hop off here for a bit. We got some work things to do. Not work things. I don't even like that word work because there's no longer any work in my life. There is only enjoyment.
Creativity.
Yeah, we have some creating to do and discussions to have. Because she is my path of least resistance and we bounce off each other so well. So she'll point something out and I'm like, oh, and we'll just back and forth for hours. It's incredible. Incredible.
We have enjoyed this interaction immensely.
Yes. Where are you from again?
I'm in Sacramento, California.
Oh, right. Okay. Well,
So,
we're shooting to be in Joshua Tree. Like, we don't know exactly everywhere we're going, but we know we're gonna zip down through Utah because we're in Edmonton, Alberta, in Canada. We're gonna zip down through Utah and come through Montana, Utah, all that towards California. We're gonna hit Oregon and then Montana, and then California. But we will definitely let you know when we're around, and you and your spicy little girlfriend of yours can come on down, and we'll have a beautiful little celebration. I know lots of people in California already. I did a trip there, I don't know, back in December.
spicy.
So we're gonna have we'll just have a giant celebration. We'll do meditations, we'll dance, we'll sing. We're gonna have so much fun, and yeah. So I also really enjoyed this interaction. Thank you to everybody that was here. And I love you guys all so much. And have yourself a great night, Sean.
Awesome a power every hour.
Every hour. Have a great day, or have a great night, and a great day tomorrow.